Hi, this is Regina White Favors coming to you with Rebound Relationship Special Topics. This is part of my Life Rebound and Recovery series where I explore particular trending topics and also just everyday relationship topics. Take some time to listen to this audio discussion, maybe gain some insight. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will respond. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification button if you're interested in further topics. This is Rebound Relationship Special Topics. Thank you very much for visiting the channel. They do not have a moral compass. They have no respect for instruction. So these types of people are the types of people who will not adhere to any type of authority, no type of instruction. They, however, will try to get you to talk to them and encourage them, pour all of your wisdom into them, especially into their foolish hearts, because they know they're not going to listen. But they're not going to get up and take your wisdom to heart and begin change. It's not going to happen. They don't have a moral compass. Anything goes. And usually when you don't have a moral compass, that means you just have no respect for authority. You have no respect for instruction. And instruction is what actually advances you in life. If you think about the platoon leader says forward march, right, to his platoon. If you forward march, you see the visual of each platoon member advancing. They walk forward. Okay. But if the platoon leader says forward march and the whole platoon decides to not forward march, then you see that they don't visually advance. Well, life is no different. Instruction is no different. When someone gives you instruction for something, there is an inherent warning in it that if you don't do it, this is what will happen, right? And you don't know what the consequences are. Consequences are much more down the road. But it is important for you to think about the person that they have no respect for instruction. Some people will get you killed because they do not solve problems. They have no respect for completion. They're not problem solvers. This is what I tell my students, that jobs are not, companies and jobs are not hiring you just to be on a job, just for you to clock in and clock out and they pay you something. No, jobs are hiring you to solve a problem. You come with that job with education, transferable skills, specialized knowledge for a particular problem that needs resolving. The problem with these people who will get you killed is that they have no respect for completion. They're all over the place. They start something here and then they start something over here, then they start something over here, then they go way across country and start something over there, and you don't see completion. They are not completers. And people who are not completers can, on some levels be dangerous, because in you is the need to complete something. But if you don't have a habit of really completing something, you might complete something else. And something else could be killing somebody, strangely enough. So they're not the types of people who solve problems. They do not have respect for completion. They procrastinate. They have no respect for time. These are the people who say they will meet you at 3 o'clock and they show up at 5. And like a dummy, we stay to 5 hoping that they will come on time when it's already 2 hours late. And when a person says they're going to be somewhere and they don't call you ahead and say, here's the problem, I'm stuck in traffic or something like that, leave. Don't stay and wait for they don't respect your time. Your time is valuable. They're saying your time is their time, and since they don't respect their time, they don't have to respect your time. That's not right. And procrastinating usually is really defined as as procrastinating the learning process, right? Whatever you are trying to learn, a lot of times we procrastinate doing the things that we need to do. And so we miss out on all of the learning and development that we could have derived from the process. So they don't respect your time. And there has to come a time in your own life, in your own season, that you have to make people respect your time. And if they don't, you have to conclude them out of your life, because it messes with your heart, it messes with your mind, it messes with your nerves. The relationship suffers because you now are in a passive aggressive mode. You hold resentment, and as long as they are able to continue to still call on you and procrastinate and have no respect for your time, and you continue to validate that error, they will continue. They will always continue. And some people are the type of people, they'll just continue regardless. Even if you check them, even if you try to tell them different, some people will wait for a minute and then turn around and do it exactly again. And then you will have some people who you check them and they will stop and they will turn around, sort of repent and go back down the right path. So they procrastinate. They have no respect for your time, and your time is valuable. They are not measured. They have no respect for study. Some people will get you killed. They're not willing to become students of something. And so they're no different than what you see in that Forrest Gump movie, like that feather flying in the wind, bouncing back and forth, right? They are not measured. We cannot look at them and determine what they are learning or what they have learned and what they value. The only thing they value is nothingness. And so when they value nothingness, it's going to affect you in your life. And so their nothingness can translate into them creating nothingness in your life, because they basically don't value life. And so these people will get you killed because they don't respect knowledge, they don't respect education, they don't respect some kind of purpose in life, tending to something, making it their own. The only thing they respect and validate is chaos. They run. They have no respect for correction. That's why you see a lot of these people in jail today, because they were runners. And I think on some level, all of us have been a runner somewhere in our lives. Maybe we didn't want to get a spanking and we ran. Maybe we didn't want to get correction and we ran. But correction is something that happens when you don't adhere to instruction. And then you are set back, and now you have to go through the correction process. And the correction process can be long, because the thing you should have learned before, you didn't learn, so now you still got to learn it. And then you are now learning new stuff that is important to your journey. And so people like to run when they have to be corrected from the previous stuff while they are trying to take new classes, and they think they can jump over issues and problems and belief systems. And if you don't get that corrected, it's going to spill over into other areas of your life. So they have no respect for correction. You got plenty of people in prison and jail, and they have been there. It's like a revolving door. They have been there multiple times, but that lets you know that they did not receive correction the first time. Something in you should tell you, I don't want to return to this place ever again. Ever. I don't want to come back here. I need to do all I can to do whatever I need to stay out of a place like this. I don't want to come back. But if you see them back there 2, 3, 4, 5 times, that means that they had no respect for correction. You still have people in there who are on their first stint and they have no respect for correction. So you can expect them to maybe have to come back. I don't want to call anything, but if you don't receive instruction from something and you never did, or you never respected instruction from something, you're definitely not going to be the type of person who's going to receive correction, at least not long term. So correction is definitely important, and pay attention to people who run. That means they run mentally, psychologically, financially, socially, whatever ways that they run, do pay attention to that. They choose the easier way, so they have no respect for work. And work is a grind. Work is something that you actually need to bring stability in your life. I had an error in my thinking about this. It wasn't that I didn't want to work. I was trying to go to school full time. I had a job initially while I was going to college. It was in the customer service field, and every time I would set my schedule for my school, which was usually after my work, they would always change my schedule. So then I was paying out of pocket at that time. And every time I turned around, I had to change my school schedule, or I had to drop out of my classes that I was paying for. So I had made a decision a couple of years later that I was going to quit my job, quit work, and go to school full time. Well, I did a little bit of something, tutoring, things like that on campus, but it really would have been better for me to continue working, even if it was part time, because it brought stability. It preoccupied my time while I was going to school. I wouldn't have gotten into half the silliness that I got into in dealing with silly, unproductive people. When you are working, when you are doing something, you got something that you got going on, it's really hard to be distracted long term. You begin to weigh the things that you're doing, and you begin to give value and purpose to them, that whatever you see in somebody else in their lack of purpose and value, you tend to stay away from. So I do sort of regret that. I should have kept a part-time job. It would have kept me in the workforce. So when I graduated from college, I would have still had some job to pay for my rent. I wouldn't have had to move back from San Diego to Dallas, and I just would have had money in the bank, just something, while I was making my transition. So a lot of times people will choose the easier way. They will choose not to work. They will for a number of reasons, but also some people just don't have respect for work. I still had respect for work. I was just trying to finish college. I believed in work now, but having respect for it is the type of people who will clock in but won't do work. And then they sort of create chaos in the environment, and then everyone sort of have problems with the person creating chaos in the environment. And then you try to take up for the person because you think everybody is doing that person wrong, when in actuality the person is actually doing wrong. And then it could create a situation where everybody is mad at you. And then some people are crazy. Some people will fight you. Some people will engage you. So these people who don't have respect for work, they can affect the relationships you have with people at work. And that's not good either, because then you could lose your job because of that person. They facilitate chaos, so they have no respect for order. I know a person from my past who we used to work with. She is the person who didn't really have respect for work that I was alluding to, but she didn't have respect for the order of things. There was a person who was around the same age as us, as all of us, and she became the supervisor on the shift. And my friend didn't really like the fact that she had become a supervisor, nor did I, but I did not buck her authority. I made sure to respect her authority. But some people are the types of people, they will go around you. They will go ahead of you. They will get on top of you, you know, by contacting your boss when there is an existing hierarchy. If you have a problem with your supervisor, you address it with your supervisor. Now, usually there are times when you will have the fear that you're going to lose your job if you address something. But if you do it through the ranks and you create a record, you'd be hard pressed to lose that job like that. It always depends on how you confront the situation. If you're yelling and cussing and things like that, and I know most jobs tend to keep those people, it's people like me who try to be organized, write a letter, and have a meeting. Those are the types of people who get fired on jobs. So strange enough, that's just stupid. But they facilitate chaos. They have no respect for order. And look at our current political system is all chaos. Look at the way people are interacting with each other. It's all chaos. Look at how people have no respect for authority and order today. It's all chaos. So think about that as you consider people who are the types who might get you killed. They breed indecision, so they have no respect for follow through. And follow through, you will see me discuss a lot in different audios and lectures, because follow through is very important. Indecision is still a decision. If you decide not to do something, or if you are indifferent towards a decision, or if you just can't come to a decision about a decision, it's still a decision. And so they don't see the importance of following through a decision, making a decision, enduring it, following through to its end. Think about math. We are all told in math to break something down to its lowest common denominator. Break down something all the way to its end, to the point that you can't divide it no more, you can't subtract anymore. You're done. You follow through. That's why teachers always tell you to show your work. Okay. That's life. You follow through. You see things all the way through to the end. But people don't want to do that, because then they would have to be responsible. They would have to act like an adult. They would have to make strong adult like decisions. And people still inherently want to be kids. They're still stuck in an age, 8, 9 years old or something like that, where something traumatic happened to them, or something that was very bad happened to them, and they just can't seem to get out of it. They just refuse. And some things you're just not going to always be able to address with somebody. Some things you just have to address on your own. That's why I say pursue life wellness. Because if you are sick in that area and you're looking around for every prescription medicine to help you and solve that pain, you're not going to get it. It's like the drug user who says you never get the same high from the very first hit. You take that first hit, it's the biggest high ever, but then all of your subsequent hits are you trying to chase that very first one. And so you have to make a decision. I'm just no longer going to take any more hits, and I'm going to go into rehab. That's the truth of the matter. And then you follow through with the principles of rehab, and you stay there and you work it out and you confront your issues. That's the respect for follow through. And so if you see somebody like that, pay attention to how they make decisions in their life, especially some obvious decisions. If they are backing off and running away from obvious decisions, that's something to think about. They wander diligently. They have no respect for purpose. So you have people who are purposefully wanderers. They're like the Israelites doing their wilderness wanderings, and they are more diligent at losing than they are diligent at trying to win at something. They would rather wander. That's why you see these a lot of people who are emotional bed hoppers. If one relationship doesn't work out over here, they find another relationship. If one thing doesn't work out over here, they find another. When I had to live in a shelter for a minute, when I was down because of the recession, and I lost my job to a full-time faculty member, and I had to go to multiple shelters, because most shelters only allow you to stay for a limited time. Sometimes 30 days, sometimes 60, sometimes 90. If you have a substance abuse problem, you can stay 2 years. So I could only stay maybe for 90 days for one, and then 30 days for another, until I can get back on my feet. Well, I noticed that people adopted a belief system that if one shelter kicked them out, they'll just go to another, right? And they have, and then, okay, I understand that logic, because if you don't have somewhere else to go, you just, try to go somewhere else, right? The problem with that is They will stay 90 days at one place, don't plan anything, don't get a job, and then once their time was up, they will go to another place and stay 30 days or 60 days, no planning, no trying to get a job, no trying to get on any sort of benefits or services or something like that. And then just continue that strategy and stay and remain homeless. You have people who are homeless, I notice, who have disability. They get disability checks. They can go get an apartment. It may not be, the best apartment, but they can go get something. But I saw some out there who would lie down in the grass. They were getting a disability check because I knew about it, because I found out about it. And they would drink their liquor or what have you, and they would go into the shelter to go get some water and then come back out, or to use the restroom and come back out, and that's it. And they have been doing that for years. So they are wondering, in a diligent way. That's where they feel like they are successful, in the wandering. So they have no respect for purpose, and they're not going to create a purpose, and they're not going to endure a purpose, and they're not going to follow through on a purpose, because the only purpose that they have is in not having a purpose. So very interesting. I thought that was very interesting to talk about. They don't have anything to lose, no respect for life. And I said this in a previous audio about that movie Juice with Tupac Shakur, and then I think Omar Epps as also a main character, and how he is talking to the Omar Epps character in the high school near the lockers, and he basically says, I don't give a F about anything. I don't care about anything. I don't care if I live or die. And that's a dangerous person. That's a very, 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 very dangerous person. That they don't have anything to lose. So you losing your life doesn't affect them. Because remember, Tupac's character in that movie was the one who was killing all the friends in their same group. He was getting a kick out of it. And so he doesn't, the fact that he doesn't respect his life tells you it's translated in the fact that he didn't respect the lives of people among him. It's funny though that people who act like that, who always end up, killing somebody else, killing the wife and the kids. I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just kill yourself? But they never kill themselves. It's like they almost have to die at the hands of somebody else in order for them to die. But I think to myself, if you're so like that and you don't have respect for life, just kill your own self. But they won't do it. They'll kill you first, because I don't know, it gives them life, it gives them energy, it gives, it makes them even more dangerous and also stupid. Okay, so some people will get you killed. As something that you need to consider and think about. All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email, reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch: Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters: Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.